Hey everyone, welcome to Learning by Doing with Praveen Kandan. This is Praveen. In this Java exception and link playlist, you will learn exception and link concepts step by step. This is Java exception and link session number 3. What is an exception in Java? If you are confident about learning, then like the video, subscribe the channel for more update. Please click the bell icon and select all notification option. Don't choose personalized option. You may miss some session updates. Let's get started. In our previous session, we have discussed about what's the difference between errors and exception. So errors are mainly occurred due to the developer mistake. Important point, mark my word. Due to developer mistakes, we'll get an error. So what are the two types of errors? Syntax error and logical error. Syntax errors means due to the programmer does not follow the Java coding standards. So due to semicolon missing, curly brace missing, so not using the proper method names, uppercase or lowercase or keyword spelling. Due to this, program will not execute at compilation stage itself, it will give the error. Okay. In IDs, VS Code or Eclipse, it will give the red underline. Okay, it will be marked by red color. So you have to sort out the issues. Logical error, this is also a whose mistake, programmer mistake or developer mistake. So program will executes fine, but we are not getting the expected output. For example, addition of two numbers means 2 and 5. 7 we are expecting, but if we are getting as a minus 7, then it's also coming into the developer mistake. So developer may provide wrong input. This is the difference between syntax and logical error. Then what's my exception? Coming to the agenda, it is an event that disrupts the normal flow of the program. So it is not happening at compile time, mark my word, it is happening at runtime. So if you're handling, so the rest of the body of the statement will be executed. Otherwise, it will throw a runtime exception. So errors are developer mistake. Exception mostly coming under the user's mistake. User may give wrong input or invalid input or incorrect input. So we already clearly explained. So seven lines of statements are here. In case we are getting the runtime exception at statement 4, the rest of the code is not executed. Statement 5, 6, 7. If we are handling that, so no issues. So the rest of the code will be executed or it is preserved. Okay, execution because happens line by line, top to bottom only it is executing. We already know this. Now, previous example itself in Eclipse, I told you. So here there is no compilation error. Okay, if the compilation is error, we'll get that red line here. See here. So what you're telling, the read out that error, syntax error, insert to complete statement. So these are the compilation error. No, now this code there is no compilation error. If I'm executing at that time, it may or may not happen. Example, if I'm giving the input as now 1, we'll get the output as 5. So 5 by 1, output is 5 divided successfully. In case if I'm giving the wrong input, okay, if I'm giving the wrong input, check it out 0, then output is now runtime exception. Okay, there is no compilation error. While I'm executing, it will throw an error. Okay, I hope you are clear this is what you're telling. If the user is providing invalid input, their statement using that input throws an exception. Happened. Yes. So program execution stops immediately. Remaining statements are not executed here. So usually line number 11 will execute divided successfully. So due to this incorrect input or wrong input, so line number 11 and 12 is not executed here itself. It is stopped. Okay. This sudden termination is the main problem here. Remaining statements are not exceeded. Assume that situation, invalid number user is giving or null valid or wrong index, Java throws an exception. In the forthcoming session, that is session number 5 onwards, we'll discuss all this with real-time examples. So invalid number, now we have discussed. So null value errors means we are finding the length for the null values. So our array index having only the 5, the maximum size is 5 means 0 to 4 it will have the elements. If I'm accessing the fifth index or seventh index, 10th index, at the time it will give the messages array index out of bound exception. Runtime, there is no compilation error. Don't confuse with that. We'll discuss all these points with the real-time examples from session number 5 onwards. Okay, there we'll discuss. Next, why exception handling is required means program is terminated by default. Remaining code will not be executed here. With this error, runtime exception happening, line number 11. Okay, so line number 10, here itself they are clearly telling where this runtime exception is happening means at line number 10. At line number 10. So line number 11 and 12 is not executed. Very clear. Program terminates, remaining code will not exit. So what a developer should do handle this is identify the risky area. So user input section. This is what the risky area. Am I right? So line number 9 and 10. We are getting the input from the user. After that, we are dividing. So these areas are called as a hotspot area. So are risky areas. Next, handle that possible exception. If the hotspot is coming, okay, the exceptional code is coming, we may handle it. Okay, in the for the forthcoming session, we'll discuss. Okay. So how to handle that exception. Next, continue the program execution normally, no interruption. So it will exit normally. So this is what handling exception handling. So handling an exception. Okay, what itself having the meaning. We are going to handle that exception and allowing the program to continue the execution is called as the exception handling. See here. So in line number 9, if I'm giving the input as 0, so due to this line number 10 divide by 0 concept, we are getting this exception. So we should handle this line number 9 and 10. So if you're handling that properly, so that is called as the handling an exception. So what's the benefit? So rest of the code, line number 11 and 12, now it executes in a safer mode, no issues. It will continue the execution. This is what you're telling. Exception occurs. If you encounter the exception that n input is now 0, we should not divide it. Okay, so we should handle that. We should catch that exception and handle that exception. So then the program execution continues normally. So now you just try to understand only in a theoretical mode. In the forthcoming session, we'll discuss in a realistic. Okay. Then only can able to understand what's happening. Now we can tell this try, this catch. You can't able to understand. Now just in abstract level, just try to understand. Okay. So exception is occurring means we have to catch that exception and handle that exception. I hope you are clear this. So this is the difference between the error and exception. So this is purely a developer mistake. Exceptions are mostly occurring due to the user mistakes. So it occurs during coding itself. At compilation itself, you can able to find out these errors. But this is happening only at runtime. Can you able to see this? There is no compilation error. Okay. Example, if I'm closing this console, I'm showing there is no compilation error. While I'm executing, that runtime exception will happen. It's executing. Wait. So at the time, you can see this runtime exception. It's loading. Wait. So go to console, see the output. So if I'm giving sample input now 0, look at this output. My sample input is 0, so output is exception. So automatically line number 11 and 12 is not executed. I hope you are clear with this. This is user mistake. So where it is occurring at runtime. Okay, but syntax errors are coming under compile time itself. So we can't always recover this. It can be handled because syntax errors, as a developer, you have to manage this, avoid these errors. But runtime errors occurring, we can handle it runtime. So how to handle it in the forthcoming session we'll discuss. Okay, now just try to understand what's the difference between error and exceptions. So in the next session we'll discuss about the types of exceptions in Java and then hierarchy of the exceptions. If you found this session useful, then like the video, subscribe the channel for update, and please share it with your friends. Thank you for watching.